Hey, what's going on? This is James, and just wanted to make another video, kind of going along with the last video I did, pretty much questioning the mainstream media and what they're telling us and why they're lying about zinc and everything that science already knows about minerals and vitamins, and how if you don't have them, if you're deficient, your immune system goes down and it's easier to get sick. That's just one aspect of it. But let's check this out together, all right?
The zithromycin and zinc. They say zinc. You should add zinc. Now, it's all has to be recommended by doctors, physicians, but they say zinc. I want to throw that out there because that's where they seem to be having the best result. So you add the zinc and the zithromycin, and it's been, we've had a lot of good stories. Able to open with a big bang and open up our country, or certainly most of our country, and I think we're going to do that. So
all right, we want to cut in here. There's two things the president has said in the last 15 minutes that we think is worth trying to explain or fact check here. One was on a medical recommendation that the president was making about the use of zinc. And if you were confused, that's why we have Dr. Gupta here.
Oh,
Dr. Gupta, explain what your best you could understand what the president was talking about when it came to zinc.
The comments about zinc were mystifying. There's no evidence I've seen in the literature suggesting zinc, in addition to hydroxychloroquine, would be helpful. So I think this is another one of those unknowns.
You will always have conspiracy theories when you have very challenging public health crises.
If you do feel ill, what do? Zinc is a great idea. You mentioned it earlier.
We started out with hydroxychloroquine and then the azithromycin. But in doing some of our research, we found that there could have been some benefit by adding zinc to that regimen.
Zinc has been found to block the RNA-dependent RNA polymerase. Check out this paper titled "Zinc Inhibits Coronavirus and Arterivirus RNA Polymerase Activity in Vitro, and Zinc Ionophores Block the Replication of These Viruses in Cell Culture."
Despite a new but still not peer-reviewed study out today identifying 69 drugs that might be effective against the virus, what's lacking is a solid body of evidence that any of them work and are safe.
State Representative Karen Whitsitt found out she had the virus the day her friend and colleague Isaac Robinson died from it. She has underlying health issues and was going downhill fast.
And I thank God that the President of the United States mentioned that drug, because it did save me.
That drug is hydroxychloroquine, which is undergoing trials at Henry Ford.
What we're finding clinically with our patients is that it really only works in conjunction with zinc. So the hydroxychloroquine opens the zinc channel, zinc goes into the cell, it then blocks the replication of the cellular machinery. So it has to be used in conjunction with zinc. We are seeing some clinical responses in that regard.
So here we have a molecule of zinc, but it's hard for it to enter the cell. So these scientists, they had to add a molecule called PT, which is an ionophore. Now, what does an ionophore do? Well, actually, it makes the cell wall permeable for zinc. It grabs the zinc and pretty much carries it through the cell wall. And here's what they found. In their experiments, they used SARS-CoV, the pathogen causing SARS. And they found that if they added more zinc to their experiments, less viral RNA was produced.
So you're prescribing it, and it is working for COVID-19 patients.
Every patient I've prescribed it to has been very, very ill, and within 8 to 12 hours, they were basically symptom-free.
Do we know anything even close to definitively where you would feel comfortable telling your friend, Chris, let's go with it?
You know, there aren't any proven medications right now, and I should point out a couple things. One is that we don't have the evidence that it works. Evidence is important here.
So there was a study from France that showed that a medication called hydroxychloroquine, or the brand name is called Plaquenil, together with the antibiotic azithromycin, killed 100% of the virus in a test tube. Not in the person, in a test tube. And then there was some studies from South Korea that showed that the use of hydroxychloroquine with the mineral zinc was also somewhat helpful. So what I did was I combined the two approaches, and I made a 3-drug regimen combining zinc with hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin, and I can explain to you why.
You can see that increasing doses of chloroquine caused increasing concentrations of zinc inside the cell.
The comments about zinc were mystifying.
But if you look at the overall statistics, if out of those 200 patients that I treated, statistically, 20 should have died, and many more should have been on the respirator. Even if you take a low ball estimate, you say 5% mortality, so 10 should have died, and maybe 20 on a respirator. My results are that 0 died and only 2 on a respirator, which is terrible, but still, it's a significant order of magnitude improvement.
And the entire treatment course of hydroxychloroquine, zinc, and the antibiotic azithromycin took just 5 days and cost $20.
All right, we want to cut in here. There's two things the president has said in the last 15 minutes that we think is worth trying to explain or fact check here. One was on a medical recommendation that the president was making about the use of zinc. And if you were confused, that's why we have Dr. Gupta here.
The comments about zinc were mystifying. There's no evidence I've seen in the literature suggesting zinc, in addition to hydroxychloroquine, would be helpful.
No supreme.
All right, so I guess what we found out is zinc is necessary for the body to fight off diseases or any colds or anything of that nature. And they say they don't know this, but this is the NIH page, National Institute of Health. I'm going to put this in the down there, a link to it, but you can read it for yourself. They know what zinc does for the body. It even says down here that this is zinc deficiency, right? Okay. So it says zinc deficiency is characterized by growth retardation, loss of appetite, and impaired immune function. So just by itself, zinc in your body, zinc is good. It actually will help you fight off colds, flus, anything of that nature. And they know what hydroxychloroquine does. It's a malaria drug. It pushes zinc into the cells and it makes it hard to replicate. Same thing with the COVID. And there are studies. And now we've got hundreds, if not thousands, actually it's thousands now of cases that have been treated. But ironically, when it first was mentioned by the president, Orange Man Bad, immediately the news was out and they were saying, no, man, this is a crackpot. We don't zinc. What are you talking about, man? Zinc? No, that's crazy talk. So yeah, this is, to me, it's very disturbing. And as I see more and more stuff like this come out, I have to question, like, how deadly is this virus? Is it warranting 100% shutdown in this entire world over something that is proving not to be what they're saying? And yeah, I'm questioning a lot of things. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, subscribe. I want to get this channel as big as I can so that I can let people know what's going on, because I just can't keep quiet anymore. I'm watching all this stuff for the last several weeks, and nobody's questioning the common sense things that about taking vitamins and minerals, right? Isn't that, we've all known that throughout our whole life? If you are deficient from those, you will get sick. If you take a lot of vitamins and minerals and you eat healthy and you get good sleep, you're going to fight stuff off better. Your body needs those minerals and vitamins to fight off colds and flus. And so yeah, something stinks here. And anyway, appreciate you checking it out, and I will check you next time.